Is PSO2 worth playing? The answer to that question is yes. Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of PSO2 and why I think it's worth playing. So I won't bore you with my character just standing here doing nothing, and I will roll some B-roll of me killing some bosses so that you guys are slightly entertained while listening to me. So let's talk about the two main issues with PSO2 first before you even install the game, before you even get started. And the number one thing would be the Microsoft Store sucks. So there are only two ways at the moment in order to get the game on your PC version. One is to download the game through the Microsoft Store, and the second one is to download the game through the PSO2 tweaker. And a lot of people have been having a lot of issues with the Microsoft Store, especially when the game first launched. It got slightly better, but I still have a lot of friends that just don't want to risk it, and they recommend everyone to just download the game through the PSO tweaker since that is more stable than the Microsoft Store. You have to deal with less BS that's going on. So that is the number one main problem. However, they will be releasing this game on other platforms soon this year. So that may be Steam or Epic stores. So if it does come out on Steam, that's probably the best place to pick it up. But at the time of this recording, it is not available on those platforms. It's only available on the Microsoft Store and the PSO2 tweaker. The second thing that a lot of people can't get by is the graphics. The graphics do look a little bit dated. The main reason is because this game is very old. It's like 8 years old. However, there are shader mods which you can apply to the game to make it look a little bit more updated. It'll look more similar to like Blade and Soul graphics or like Unreal Engine 3 graphics, but it won't look anywhere close to Black Desert graphics or anything from the Unreal Engine 4, simply because the game is just dated. So now with those two big things out of the way, now we can finally talk about the pros and the cons of the game. So let's talk about the pros first. So this game encourages party play or group play, but the mechanics of the dungeons, of the boss fights are not very punishing, and it just encourages the act of being social and playing with others. So it's not like Blade and Soul where it forces you to play as a team, and when someone messes up, there's a party wipe or kills everyone or you have to start over. It's not that punishing at all. It's just, oh, there are some mechanics on these bosses and you can totally 100% do it all by yourself. Or if you have a party, it just alleviates the pressure because you might have 2 or 3 people that might know the mechanics and they might help you out. So you can queue up to 4 people into these boss fights as a party. It's very nice where you can group up with your friends. And the nice part about this is if you're just 2 people or 3 people, you can queue up like that as well. There's no limitations. So the second pro about this game is it respects your time. You can pick up dailies and hold onto them if you know you don't have time to play that day. So let's say, for example, I come back really late at night because I've been out drinking or something, and I'm just too drunk to play the game, right? So what I can do is I can log onto the game, accept the daily, and then log off. Then when I wake up the next day with a massive hangover and I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to stay at home and play PSO2, I can do all the dailies that I missed yesterday because I accepted them, and I can do the dailies I accepted today. So that's a really nice mechanic in a way that I can hoard up dailies when I don't have time to play, and I can do all of them when I do have time to play. So pro number 3 is dailies themselves don't take very long. They take about 30 minutes if you're a super casual player, you're just walking through, playing really casually, maybe you're multitasking, it doesn't take very long. But if you're a faster player, you're super focused, you're speed running it, you can easily complete all of your dailies within 10 to 15 minutes, and that is per character. So if you have a dailies on 3 characters, you can essentially finish everything within 45 minutes, 1 hour very, very easily. So this game really does respect your time because you can essentially finish everything that you need to do or what you feel like you need to do, the quote-unquote dailies, within an hour. While if you want to play more, that's perfectly fine as well. The dailies sort of feel like a bonus. It kind of feels like a huge surge of Meseta. Meseta is basically gold in this game. You need it in order to buy stuff and to upgrade your gear, and it's just the in-game currency. And so if you want to play more, you don't feel like you're being punished for playing more. It feels like the dailies are just like a little bonus that you get, and you can continue to keep playing if you want, but if you don't have time, then just focus on the bonus. So the fourth pro is the community is very friendly and most people are willing to help you out if you just ask. So this is something that I have not seen very often in a lot of MMOs. So like in Blade and Soul, it's not a very social community. We kind of stick amongst ourselves, and when they're strangers, we kind of just push them away, or we don't really want to talk to them or help them, because that's sort of the culture of Blade and Soul. While in Black Desert Online, it's more of a solo experience. The only time where you actually interact would be maybe with your guild members or with your real life friends that are trying out the game. But other than that, you kind of stick to yourself. But in PSO2, since you are rewarded to have party play and to do content as a group, you want to reach out to other people, and people are incentivized to actually help you and talk to you. There's this currency called fun points, and every time you revive anybody, any stranger or teammates, you get fun points. And when you talk to people, and when you like their cosmetics, or if you comment on their cosmetics, comment on their characters, stuff like that, you get a lot of fun points, and you can use these fun points in order to get some cash items, in order to participate in their gacha system. So a lot of players are incentivized to be social, to help out other people, simply because they're rewarded for it. So the fifth pro is this community is very weeb / anime oriented. So this is a mixed bag. Personally, I like it because I'm a huge anime fan myself. I'm a proud weeb, as you could say, so there's no issue for me here. But for some people, maybe this is a huge turnoff for them, but this is how it is. PSO2 is super fashion and super anime oriented, and so if you don't like anime, then maybe this game is not for you. But if you do like it, or you're indifferent about it, then I definitely recommend you guys to try this. And now to take it to the next step, and that is Block 69. Block 69 is extremely degenerate and lewd, because it's Block 69. So if that's kind of your jam, like I know Lori really likes this type of stuff, is if you just chill out in Block 69, you'll get all the not safe for work stuff, all the super lewd stuff, all the crazy people doing really lewd emotes, doing really weird stuff. And yeah, if that's your jam, then you know, you'll like this game and just chill out in Block 69, because that's where all the degenerates are, and it's amazing, it's great. Pro number 6 is the game developers themselves are also very lewd, and they like to make sexy costumes and emotes. There are 2 emotes I want to show to you right now. So the first emote is called the chair dance. So here we go. You can see right here, it is literally like a stripper chair dance sort of thing, you know. It's super erotic, super nice. I like this emote very much. But yeah, the developers basically said, this is good stuff, it's okay. So the second one is a pole dance. So right here, you literally summon a pole and your character starts doing a pole dance. It's very, very sexy, very, very nice. Pro number 7. This game is very well optimized. It can hold a solid 60 FPS even on an old machine very, very easily. And that has to do with the graphics itself. It's not very graphically demanding, and the game itself is just very well optimized. And so this is a very big deal for me, mainly because I like to be able to play the games at 60 FPS, unlike Blade and Soul, which only runs on 15 FPS now. And last but not least is the content being released on the NA servers are on an accelerated rate in order to catch up with the JP servers. So we are getting content released on the NA server like crazy. We are getting content like every 2-3 weeks. It just boom, 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 boom. And you're always busy. Like, you might think you've min-maxed everything, and within the next month, boom, you've got a whole new tier of items to catch up to now. So this is good for players like myself, which are super addicted to this game and play this game like 8 hours a day, because it gives us content to do. We're constantly upgrading our armor. We constantly have a endgame goal to work towards every single day, because we keep getting new content. So now let's talk about the cons of this game. So con number 1 is this game is ancient. So is the UI. A lot of the menus feel a bit dated and unintuitive. So for example, to sell an item, you have to go to a very specific vendor in order to sell your items. And when you go there, then you have to go through about 2 to 3 different menus in order to sell from your inventory or to sell from your storage. And it's just very unintuitive compared to the UIs we're used to nowadays. But to be fair, it's because the game is ancient. It's 8 years old. You can't blame it for that. So con number 2, which is the augmentation system, this is endgame stuff, is really quite insane and really does require pen and paper or an affix simulator to figure out. If you're trying to do all of this in your brain will explode, because it's just so complicated and so convoluted that if you don't write it down, it'll be very difficult to keep track of. However, this is very endgame stuff, so if you're not there yet, then it doesn't really matter that much, and you can totally skip this system and just get someone else to do it for you, and you just buy their gear off the market. Con number 3 is if you want to min-max, this game requires a lot of research and a lot of motivation and a lot of time in order to do it. Mainly because in order to min-max in this game, you need to calculate all the different augmentations you need. You have to farm for specific gear, which has like a 0.01% drop rate or even lower. So it takes a lot of time. And when you finally do get that one rare piece of gear, the affixes that it has on is RNG. You might get really good affixes, you might get really trash affixes. Then you need to fix it up, which requires the augmentation system, which takes a lot of time in order to calculate what exactly you need, all the fodders you need to feed onto the weapon. And so min-maxing is a very lengthy process. Just keep that in mind. Con number 4, farming for endgame gear may burn you out, especially if you go ham on this game or if you go all out on this game. Mainly because the drop rate for endgame gear is extremely low. It's 0.01% or might be even lower. And that's done on purpose because it is endgame gear. You're not supposed to get this gear very easily. So do expect to farm for 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours in order to get this piece of gear that you actually want. However, it is purely RNG, so some people might get it on the first hour that they play. Other people might have farmed 20, 30 hours and still have not seen a drop. So you just need to understand that endgame gear has a very low drop rate and you may be farming it for a very long time. So con number 5 is there's no real endgame in this game. It's very similar to Black Desert Online in the sense where once you get all of your endgame gear maxed out with all the affixes, you might get bored if you don't do any of the social aspects of the game, or if you don't enjoy the process of just making more money, or the process in doing your dailies or playing with your friends, so forth and so on. Con number 6 is you can play 100% solo on this game, but you will know in the back of your head that you're not playing the game efficiently, and that might bother some people. Personally, I'm not bothered by this at all, but I know a lot of people who play this game and they feel the need that they need to play the game efficiently because they have limited time to play, or they just want to get to max level ASAP. They don't want to feel like they're wasting their time. So if you're one of those people, just know that playing in a group or playing in a party will always give you more benefits and more buffs versus playing alone. And the last con about this game is the Microsoft Store is poo-poo. So yeah, I hate the Microsoft Store. It's very unintuitive, it's very annoying, and even after I got the game to work, it uninstalled on itself and deleted some core files and wouldn't let me uninstall the rest of the files that were still on the computer, which forced me to reformat my E drive. So that was very, very stressful and annoying and unnecessary. So yeah, that's a big con for me. But it's okay, I just use the PSO2 tweaker. If you do decide to get this game and you do want to get the game through the PSO2 tweaker, I do have a video about it. It is linked in the description below. But yeah, that's the pros and cons of PSO2. I personally think it's worth playing. I'm addicted to this game. I play like 5 to 6 hours every day of this game, and I'm still not burnt out. And I'm not even close to maxing out all my gear yet. You can see over here that I already have my Nemesis weapon. I made a video about this when I did my augmenting. So this is considered the endgame weapon at the moment. However, in a month's time, we're getting a whole new tier of weapons. So this will only last me for a month. And then I have a whole new tier to upgrade to. So I've got a lot more content to work on. And then of course I've got my armors over here. My armors aren't even maxed. They're nowhere near maxed. So I've got a lot of work to do. So personally, I don't feel like the game's run out of content for me, even though I've played for more than 300 hours on the game now. I've got other people who have played like 600 hours and they're nowhere near maxing out either, mainly because they may have maxed out one character, but then they've got like 2 or 3 more characters where they also want to max those classes out. And so there's just so much content in this game to work on, to play. And even if you do max out all of your gear, there's a ton of social aspects in this game as well, which I personally really enjoy. Yeah, if you're ever bored, just hit up Block 69 and just chill there for a while. People are super friendly there, super degenerate, and a ton of not safe for work. So please don't go there if you've got kids around, or if you've got like you're playing in your workplace or whatever. It's extremely not safe for work. But it's great because it's very cultured. Anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome, for the heels